Hello and welcome to Sunset TV podcast. I am Rajiv Kumar Singh. In this episode, we will try and look into the history of Gorkhas in Indian Army with our focus on Shaheed Major Durga Malla. And to talk about all this, we have with us renowned historian Dr. Makhan Lal ji. Welcome to the show, sir. Durga Malla's name is one which is revered by all the Gorkhas. Malla was only 31 when he was executed by the British in 1944. We will be talking on Malla in detail, but before that, Dr. Lal, what is it about the Gorkhas? They have served in the Indian Army, they are continuing to serve in the Indian Army, they are still in the British Army. There must be something about their courage, their valor that I'm reminded, in fact, of one of our field marshals, General Manekshaw. He said that if someone says that he does not fear death, he must either be a mad person or a Gorkha.
You're very right, and so also General Manekshaw, Field Marshal Manekshaw, because he belonged to that command, Gorkha
regiments.
Gorkhas by nature are fearless people, and with that fearlessness is combined something called loyalty to the command. That is the most important factor in Gorkha's life, and that is also the most important factor in the military discipline. You obey the command and you execute the command. You obey the command as a part of your nature. You execute the command as a part of your personality of being fearless. And that tradition of Gorkhas have continued not in British time but much before that. Gorkha had that tradition. And for them, dying in the battlefield is more important than running away, than is totally redundant for one reason. Nobody has ever heard a Gorkha showing his back. He always feels that I should take it on from the front, be it his kukri, be it his dagger, or be it chest. All the three there together, right in the front. And that is why the kind of prestige in the military world Gorkhas enjoy, no other community. I'm saying that underlined, loud and clear enough. No other community in this country. And that's why Gorkhas are so loved. They are in the army, they are somewhere also employed as personal help in the families.
Yes.
Loyalty is very important for them. It's part of their blood, it's part of their nature, it's part of their entire social system.
Yeah, I mean, if you are employing somebody of that nature, you can trust. Trust is that important facet which is pretty difficult in these days, I should say.
That is precisely. Trust is so difficult. It was always difficult, but it has become a rarity in modern times. But still today, it's not such a rarity when you go to Gorkha communities. You will always find that. Always that.
Now let us focus on Major Durga Malla. He lived for only 31 years.
Yeah.
But what beautiful 31 years he had. One, the devotion to his community, the Gorkhas, and secondly to his motherland, that is India.
I would like to talk about Durga Malla, not only his own importance, but his rule on a wider canvas, that the kind of thing he did and the message he left for the country. Both are very important because an individual can be talked about related to his own life, related to his own work. But what becomes much more important, that personal life, his work, if it has a larger message for the entire people. Malla was born in, I think, in 1913. 1st July 1913. And
near Dehradun.
In Dehradun, in his village.
Was the division between Nepal because his community is basically Gorkhas, and in the history during those days in 1913, or say when he was young till the 1930s, was the division between Nepal and India that stark that
You
it
see,
is
for
now-
the last 300 years, something which is called border, something with the word you are using, division, it was all very blurred and hardly it had any meaning for two very simple reasons. One, Nepal was geographically looks like part of India, natural geography. Secondly, Nepal's ruling dynasty has been part and parcel of India. All the relations, all the various functions, everything, it was all there. You know probably.
Yes.
Jyotiraditya Scindia's mother is Maharani of Nepal,
Yes.
Princess of Nepal. So also many others. So actually this sharp division which you are seeing today, it was just not there, and that is why there was no division between Indian people and Nepalese people. Nepalese people were as good as people of Bihar, people of Uttar Pradesh or West Bengal. Anybody could work anywhere. Indians could go and go to Nepal, find a job if they can, and Nepalese people could come. There was neither a passport requirement. Remember, nowadays even if there is a free entry, but you need a passport. But for Nepali citizen, you did not need a passport. You did not need an identification certificate. It was all part and parcel of this one big geography, and that is why Gurkhas, they served in Indian army, be it army of Patiala, Maharaja Patiala, be it army of Jammu and Kashmir Maharaja, or even Maharaja Sindhia of Gwalior and all that. So it was never this kind of division which you are seeing for the last 30 years. Not even though before that. I have been to Nepal several times by the bus. Nobody asks, nobody ever talks about it. First time I went there in 1989, I was as good as anybody else there.
Let's
So-
come back to let
us
Malla.
exactly Malla. And what you find is that Malla joined, his father was in army, Lance Naik, probably, or your people should know that his father was in army. And at the age of 18 and a half, Malla also joined British Army.
Yes.
He worked for almost 12 years. Then he was posted in Northeast. When he reached Northeast, he heard about Indian National Army. As a true Indian national, as a true lover of the country,
Patriot, yes.
patriot, he decided to leave British Army and join Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, INA. And without anything, any inkling, he left in 1942. And Netaji had great trust. Subhash Chandra Bose had one great quality, and that is to judge correctly the human beings. He never failed in judging the people, and I as a historian can tell you, if he was alive, he would not have got the chance to write something like My Himalayan Blunder, I was misled, or I did not recognize the two characters. No, he was not. In one few seconds he could judge you through and through. So Malla, he gave the responsibility for spying the Northeast, because Malla was well aware. He belonged to that area. Northeast was very well known. Gurkhas were all around.
Besides, I have read that he, in his British Indian Army's days too, he had got his training in military intelligence gathering.
Yes, that is why intelligence gathering in British he had that, and that is why when he came over to
the
INA, Netaji continued with that work, except that rather than collecting information for British, now he started collecting for INA. And he did that. But what happens is, meanwhile, I think he got married sometime in 1940 or so.
41.
41.
As far.
And you must have
He had to leave after his marriage only after 3 days.
just 3 days. That's what I want to underline. fourth day morning he
Had to
had to
report.
leave and report for the. So 3 days in married life.
It was the
He
time
go-
of the Second World War. And
Time of
he
Second
was-
World War, 41 going
was-
on. Northeast was all in turmoil. He left there, crosses over the border, joins INA, and he gets caught. It normal happens. What happens in between? Lot of input was given to Netaji about Manipur, about that area, whole area, what is going on, where are the deployments, where are things. But when he got caught, that's where, as historians, comes to me in tears. He was hanged. He was caught on 27th March 1944. On 25th August 1944,
itself,
he was hanged.
Yes, he was hanged in Delhi itself. I mean,
No, he was caught in
Caught in
Manipur
Northeast.
and Delhi in Lal Killa.
yes, yes, he was brought to
That's
Delhi.
where my heart bleeds. Now put Malla in larger perspective. Did he not deserve 1944 by August? We were all known that India is going to get to freedom very quickly.
Yes, yes.
Was it not correct on the part of political leadership who were on the right side of British to appeal for Malla's life? Put it with Bhagat Singh, Irvin Gandhi Pact. Irvin writes that when I was meeting with Gandhi, all the discussions were taking place, but I was 100% sure that at some point of time, Gandhi will bring in Bhagat Singh's execution, and we had already decided to accept Gandhi's demand to leave Bhagat Singh. And then he writes in his diary, we were shocked that Gandhi did not even mention. That's where, was Bhagat Singh fighting for a foreign land? Was Malla spying for Italy, or was he spying for Germany? Was he spying for this enemy country?
No.
Was he not trying to do the same what you were doing? Free the nation?
In fact,
But Malla's,
yeah, please continue.
but Malla's rescue, nobody came. And not only that, almost about 34,000 Indian patriots were executed by British.
34,000.
34,000, and actually sometime back, almost 10 years back, I asked this, Indian Council of Historical Research that it's not going to take much time, 2-3 scholars.
And what portion of that was from, say, the Indian National Army?
Indian National Army is separate, not in that 34,000.
Okay.
Indian National Army, if I tell you, you will just start shivering. Nowhere in the world 2/3 of its army perished for fighting nation. INA की 44,000 लोग मरे थे बैटल फील्ड में,
Yes.
ईस्टर्न फ्रंट पे. और 10 साल पहले, मैंने 12 साल पहले ICHR से प्रार्थना की थी कि हम जानते नहीं, और लगभग पिछले 70 वर्षों में, 60 वर्षों में इस इतिहास को भुला चुके हैं लोग. अब तो ये लगता है कि आज़ादी हम ले आए, गाने वाले बहुत लोग हैं, लेकिन प्रफुल्ल कुमार चाकी के घर से भी कोई कहने वाला है कि मेरा बेटा कुर्बान हो गया? भगत सिंह के घर का कोई कहने वाला है? चंद्रशेखर आज़ाद को भी कोई याद करने वाला है? भगवती चरण बोहरा को भी कोई याद करने वाला है? या दुर्गा मल्ला को भी कोई याद करने वाला है? लिहाजा जो बात कही दुर्गा मल्ला ने, ये मैं याद दिला रहा हूँ कितने बड़े पर्सपेक्टिव में उसका बलिदान है. वो कोई अकेला नहीं था, लेकिन एक बहुत बड़ा प्रेरणा का स्रोत था. उसकी पत्नी को भी सामने जिस दिन,
Yeah, his wife was even brought before
the gallows.
gallows. He was to be taken to the gallows, and the Britishers tried to coax him into accepting that he was wrong.
No,
whatever-
denounce INA,
Denounce I.
discredit INA. But he said no. The INA देश के लिए लड़ रहा था, देश की गुलामी के लिए नहीं, देश की आज़ादी के लिए लड़ रहा था. और अपनी पत्नी जिसको उसने उस 3 दिन के बाद पहली बार और अंतिम बार देखा, उससे कहा दुखी मत होना, मेरा ये बलिदान व्यर्थ नहीं जाएगा, ये देश बहुत जल्दी आजाद होगा।
So he knew basically that
He knew by that time,
independence was at the doorsteps in a way.
not
and
only he
still-
knew, Congress people knew, Gandhi ji knew, Jawaharlal Nehru knew, Maulana Azad knew, everybody knew. British knew that we are going to be free, but till last day they did. And I can tell you what was the impact of बलिदान, जो दुर्गा मल्ला के लोगों जैसा बलिदान था. What was the impact of it? Just you can imagine one time in 1952/53, Clement Attlee was visiting India, and
the British
remember,
Prime Minister.
he was the Prime Minister under whom British Parliament took the decision to free India.
Yes.
Thus he knew everything. And what happens is that when he comes to India, he was staying in Calcutta for 3-4 days, and as a personal guest of West Bengal governor. He was also Chief Justice of High Court, because when the governor is not there in the chair, Chief Justice functions as governor. And they were talking, it's all written in the autobiography of former governor of and Chief Justice of West Bengal, that he asked Clement Attlee, you had won the World War, flying colors, British led the war from front, your prestige was at highest, what made you to leave India? I am talking about within the courts, what made you to leave India? He says, Subhash Bose made us to leave India. That's the word.
Okay.
Subhash Bose made us to leave India. And then he said, why you say so? INA. INA was such a factor in Indian psyche that everybody became against us. Army revolted, Navy revolted, and we have ruled India with the help of Indians. Always remember, there were never more than 63,000 British at a time in India.
And they ruled over the crows that we had.
63,000 people ruled over 33 to 34 lakhs crores people. Few were in army, few were in bureaucracy, few were all. 63,000 people. So we ruled India with the help of Indians. Now the very same Indians are against us, we can't rule. And
Surely the Britishers were weakened by the Second World War.
they were weakened. But I will go by weakness, not weakness, but also within that weakness they were strong enough to continue to rule India if the situation had not arisen. Situation, because Navy revolted.
Yes.
On the strength of Navy, they could navigate from England to here. Navy revolted, Army revolted. British knew that now we have to rule. And what is the most unfortunate part? Navy and Army got divided after partition.
How did how did the Navy get influenced by the INA? It's something to be understood.
Navy got influenced simply by patriotism. In the northeast or eastern side, Navy was also involved, be it Burma, be it Malaysia, be it Indonesia, be it Korea, and so on. So Navy people got so much influence by the sacrifices of INA, 44,000 people getting killed, and you think that it will remain a secret and no, it will not impact anybody. So Navy and Army when revolted, I am telling something which shocks the conscience of the nation. Army, Navy, Air Force, whatever was there, it was all divided between Pakistan and India. Will you believe that in Pakistan, all the people who revolted against British Navy, Army, they were all taken back. But not in India. Jawaharlal Nehru constantly refused to take them back into the regular service, as if they had revolted against Jawaharlal. That's our character, that's our nature. That's the way we have treated our people who fought for the nation. And that is why it becomes very important to rewrite everything on the basis of actual fact. You know, all this has to be redone. Praful Kumar Chaki was also there. There were small children, 17, 18 years old. They were not going to party. They were not going to,
In fact, Malla, our subject today, he used to stick posters against the British when he was in class 9th.
Yes, that is what, they were not going to a ravish party. They were doing for the nation. And the nation post, I will use the harsh word, post-independent nation has been very ungrateful to the martyrs. I always ask as a historian, how many Congress leaders, how many political leaders, why to say Congress alone, how many political leaders were killed by bullets of the British police or army? How many went to gallows? They went to jail. Jail was more like going to Rishtedari and have a nice time with cooks, with all the people. Jail was like a peaceful time for them. But those who laid down 34,000 people killed by British, 44,000 INA people, 80,000 people, and we don't know even name. And that is where, when the question of Durga Malla comes, at least any political party raised the name, government would not have accepted. Anything advice, government would not have accepted. Gurkha regiment took the lead. Here is our hero, and you probably know that in Parliament House, the statue that is there, it was not built by government, it was not made by government, it has been gifted by Gurkhas, and then it was put in. I will say, Parliament premises is not for the political leaders' portrait. Parliament's premises are meant for those who laid their lives, be it Bhagat Singh, be it Chandrasekhar Azad, be it Bhagwati Charan Verma, be it Praful Kumar Chaki, be it Durga Malla, be it Netaji has been rehabilitated. He has put at the right place. After 70 years, 75 years, he has been put at the right place. Now it's time, those who gave their life at the prime, having seen nothing. If I die today, no regret. I have seen half of the world. I have children. I have lived a life. But what a 17-year-old boy has seen of the world, still just he knows Bharat Mata.
So he joined at 18 and he was executed at 31, Durga Malla.
Yeah.
And
so Durga Malla,
he could not have spent even a week with his wife. And
3 days. By counting 3 days. But look at Praful Kumar Chaki, 17 years age, 18 years age. So hundreds of examples, thousands and thousands of examples are there. So I always say that, look, it's time that we should make a space available for those who did not get the space in the last 45 years, last 75 years. We have to give the space for the people who laid down their lives. And that is where Durga Malla should become an example for us. The way we have honored Durga Malla and Netaji, we have to honor many more.
Yes, the Gorkhas celebrate his martyrdom day on 25th of August continually after 1944. But he was a really proud Gorkha, sir. At the end of it, he was really dedicated to his community. I am reminded of a poem that he wrote, and in it, he says that दिखाओ आकर भगवन सुषुप्त जाति को राह, क्या हुआ हमें, क्यों हुई आज मतिमन। वीरता पौरुष के कारण मिली वीर गोरखा की उपाधि, जो हीरे के समान था उज्जवल, क्यों हुआ माटी तुल्य।
बहुत सुंदर है। और आपने कहा ही वॉज अ प्राउड गोरखा। मैं आपको बताता हूँ, प्राइड जो है, इट हैज सेवरल लेवल्स, एंड प्राइड फॉर द नेशन इज अल्टीमेट लेवल. You are very proud of your family. That's where word pride begins. You are very proud of your family. You are very proud of your community. You are very proud of the place you belong to. And then that place you belong to is within India, and then you are very proud of the India. That's what it is all about.
Okay,
And-
sir. That is time for us. We are closing this program now. Thanks a lot for your precious time, Dr.
It's
Lal.
always a pleasure.
To our audience, thanks a lot for watching this program. Do give your comments on the content. Goodbye for watching.